It is another edition of the On the Mic podcast, and we have a slew of Bellator interviews coming your way over the next few days. And this one, I don't mark out for fighters, but this one I am going to. I am a huge fan of him. I'm a huge fan of his team. I'm actually such a big fan. I'm going to let you guys know that if you do bet on fights, he's got a MyBookie code on his Instagram page. Make sure you go to mybookie.ag, use his code. There you go, Sabah Homasi. I am plugging that for you as well. Welcome to the show. You will be competing on Bellator 273 against Jaleel Willis. First and foremost, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. So obviously very excited to talk to you for the first time. I think there's so many great things about you. And I know the last two fights have not gone your way, but you never fail to excite and perform at the highest level. Even though you may not think so, you're putting on entertaining fights each and every time you're out there. What keeps you going every single time, even when the result doesn't go your way? What gets you back up right away to get back in there and want to compete as soon as you can?
I just don't have quit in me, man. And I at the end of the day, I love fighting. I truly love it. From a young age, it's just something that those endorphins my body releases when I'm about to get into a fight that I'm addicted to. Like people are addicted to drugs. I'm addicted to those endorphins that get released. So the more I can get, the better.
I know CBS Sports awarded you their fight of the year last year against Paul Daley. And one of the things when I was, granted access to talk to you today, I wanted to ask you, when you're going through that, although the fight did not go your way, what is the mindset, if you can, for 30 seconds, take me through when you're going through such a firework fight like that against Paul Daley, knowing one shot your way or one shot his way, everything could close the show, or it could be one of the greatest fights we've ever seen. And I know it was the fight of the year for CBS Sports. What is that like, if you could take me inside what it was like for you in that fight?
Man, I blew my wad in the first round trying to put him away. And that's what bit me in the ass. I should have peeled back a little bit, got back to what got me there. And then once I truly hurt him bad, then obviously I pulled the trigger. I had such a bad lactic buildup in my legs, man. I could barely move in the second round. And I also feel like the ref didn't give me the same opportunity he gave him in the first, because I was fine. But, it is what it is. Who knows? That's potential rematch in the future. So we'll see.
Yeah, you could sign me up for that 10 times. Or once a year, I'll take that fight for the rest of your fighting career. One thing that I really am excited to talk to you about as well is that I have, somewhat of a relationship with your coaches, or some of your, coaches down there at American Top Team. Mike Brown and Conan Silveira have been on this podcast multiple times. And I just love everything about your gym, your team. It was the first gym I was ever invited to years ago to kind of welcome me into this MMA world. And, even the teammates that you have, with the ups and downs, you guys are such a close-knit team, such a close-knit family. What makes it so special to be a part of American Top Team in your eyes?
Oh man, it's just the vibe in there. It's not just the vibe; it's the people that all come together. You got people from all over the world, that you see inside of that gym, and not just that gym, but every gym. And you guys build a bond, a relationship. A friendship, a family almost. And I've been a part of American Top Team since 2008, and I love it. I don't see myself. I'll never leave. Started my career there. I'll finish my career there. So I just love everything about it there. The coaches, my teammates, everyone's great. So I got nothing.
I got to ask specifically about your coach, Mike Brown. I know he's been in his own high level fights, and now he's, transitioned into coaching, yourself and so many others in these mega fights. And for you, when you see a coach who dedicates so much time to each fighter that he is, with, and he goes through the ringer with you guys, and he goes to hell and back with you guys, how could you sum up Mike Brown as a coach for you and what he's meant to your career?
Mike Brown means a lot to me in my career. He's he's my main coach, and he's like family to me. He's a sports guru. He loves MMA. He wins the lottery. Say all the time, the lottery, that man will still be in there every day, breaking down footage and training fighters at the highest level. I love that guy. Great sense of humor, just great human being overall. So there's not a bad bone in that man.
With that said, and I'm going to ask you about your opponent, Jaleel Willis, here in a moment, but just kind of talking about you and your team. Obviously, you were featured a little bit as well last year alongside Dustin Poirier as he was going through two of the biggest fights of his career. Both came out victorious against Conor McGregor. I know the last one did not go his way, but it's very rare that you see a guy come up short and then the fanfare just loves him even more. And I don't know that there's many fighters who can handle the highs and lows of the fight game with more class and respect than Dustin Poirier. And he's done it on several occasions. What does that do for you? Not just the training and the running down the Las Vegas, streets when you guys are training together, or he's preparing to cut weight, but to see how he carries himself just as a man, as a fighter, what does that do for you?
Man, it's a big influence. He has a big impact on my life. And, I even tell it to him. We built a relationship over the years, and how can you not love the guy? Inside, in and out of the cage, he's a great human being. Take a look what he's doing with his charity. He's helping out people all over the world. He's building a city in Uganda. It's like, how can you not love the man? And the way that he handles himself with winning or losing, it's just amazing. And I look up to that.
What does it do for you training alongside of that? Getting in there, going through the grinder with somebody like him, and it's
motivates
what is that? Motivates you?
100%. He's the man. Comes in, he flies in, helps me in camp, even when he doesn't have anything coming up, and then he flies with me on fight week if he's able to. He wasn't with me on the past two. He was on vacation, or he had some things that he had to do. But I tell him don't stress, and he was beating himself up about it. Not being able to make him like, Dustin, don't worry about it, man. Go take care of what you care of. I'll see you on the next one, And so he's flying in on Sunday, and then we're going to head out to Tuesday for fight week. So
I know you talked a lot about loving fighting yourself and love being a fighter, and you'll do this as long as you can. And like I said, and I hate to bring it up, but it is what the last two fights have not gone your way. But when you look at this is a fight that you and your team and your gym, you guys have seen this storyline far too often in this sport. It's the veteran up against the up and comer and the young guy, and everyone wants to see like the Sabah. Like, you're not being just thrown out, out on the back of the farm. Like, this is a fight that you're more than ready for. But how do you look at this fight, and how do you look at Jaleel Willis and kind of the attention he's getting as your opponent?
I don't look past anybody. I know he's a tough guy, boxer, wrestler. But from what I've seen, he doesn't like to get hit. And I'm the wrong person to get hit. So if I hit him, it's going to be a short night for him. And I got a lot of weapons, I got a lot of weapons. So I can put him on his back, beat him up, submit him, or I can knock him out on the feet. It's not just my hands he's got to worry about. He's got to worry about everything. So I'm expecting a tough fight, but I'm also expecting to come out with my hand raised with a finish. I'm not going the distance with this guy. I'm looking to hurt him, put him away.
What would that, outside of just putting a win back in your record, getting you back in the win column, but what would that do for you kicking off 2022? I mean, obviously over the past year and a half, we've seen the Bellator rankings get introduced. You're back on Showtime. Like, there's so many opportunities now. And if you're going and do what you expect to do, what you and your team expect you to do, what does that do for you to start off this year for you?
I'm starting off this year with a bang, man. I'm going to go in there and execute. I'm going to go in there, and I'm not worried about what he's going to do because I'm more than prepared. I know what he's going to do. He's going to try taking me down, and he's going to panic. He's going to panic when I'm stuffing his shots, and he's not going to be able to take me down. And, even if he does put me back, he's not going to hold me down. I'm going to get back to my feet. And it's going to be an exhausting fight for him, that's for sure.
You mentioned it earlier, and, sometimes I don't want to blow past any answers, but you mentioned a potential future rematch with Paul Daley. Is this something that you would like to go for early this year, or you want to get a couple of wins under your belt? Like, how important is it to get that fight back?
Man, to me, I don't pick and choose my opponents. Bellator calls me, my manager calls me. He said, we got this opponent. I'm like, let's do the damn thing. I don't give a shit who they put in front of me. I mean, I went from Paul Daley. I just fought the former champ last. I don't give a shit. Line them up. We're gonna fucking square off in the cage. I'm not in this sport to pick and choose who I'm fighting. I'm not at that point in my career either. I'm 33 years old, and I want to get the ball moving.
That attitude is what made you personally one of my favorites, throughout your entire career, and why I was so excited to talk to you today. And, at this point in your career, and like you said, at 33, you want to get the ball moving. What does that mean for you You know, again, starting off the year, the first Bellator event of the year at Bellator 273. What does getting the ball rolling mean for you in 2022?
Getting the ball rolling means for me is going in January 29th, walking out with my hand raised, and then hopefully next fight I get a top 10 opponent, get my ass back in the top 10.
Well, Sabah Homasi, I can't tell you how much I was, again, I keep saying I was so excited to talk to you, and you didn't disappoint. And sitting in the salon chair, do the fighters at American Top Team have the best hair and personal care throughout all gyms and fighters in the world?
You know what, man? I'm just trying to do something different here. So I'm dyeing my hair silver, look like a silverback gorilla, and then come in there and act like one. So I'm excited.
I love it. I love it. But you're not changing the nickname, are you, if things go well?
Sleek Chic is staying, baby.
Sabah Homasi, this was a true privilege and honor for me to talk to you, and I hope we could talk again after your fight. Wish you all the best, even though you don't need luck. I will send you some as well. And thank you again for your time.
Appreciate it, man. No problem. Anytime.